So I'm going to be talking about The Vestures of Our Lives from 1946. This film was directed by William Wyler, the cinematography was by Greg Toland, and it's based on the novella Glory for Me by McKinley Cantor. The screenplay was adapted by Robert E. Sherwood. So it's important to note that this was a Samuel Goldwyn production. That is where a lot of the money came because Goldwyn himself was very interested in creating a depiction of soldiers coming home from war and readjusting to that rather than the horrors of action itself. Wyler himself was also very interested in writing a story that is based on this to be more welcoming to soldiers, so therefore both of these people were kind of a match made in heaven when creating Vestures of Our Lives. So, it's a homecoming movie. It's not warframe, it's more similar to Casablanca in the fact that we don't actually see action. So we get the struggles of return from three different men. The first one is Al, played by Frederick March. Al is a banker who gets a better position once he's back from the war, but he also brings back a drinking problem. He has a desire to help other veterans, but this goes against his company policy, so he's having a moral conflict. We have Fred, played by Dana Andrews, and Fred returns unable to find employment. With the war done and most people still in jobs, he has to reluctantly return to his previous job as a soda-driven salesman. Finally, we have Homer, played by Harold Russell. Homer loses both of his arms during the war, and though the Navy has trained him to use them, he's having a difficult time emotionally readjusting and feeling loved by his family. It's important to note that Harold Russell, who plays Homer, actually lost both of his arms, and he was hired for this position because of that. You're having actors who are wearing their own clothes throughout this movie to kind of show the struggle of what are real people returning from war instead of just famous actors depicting soldiers. Why did this film need to be made? So, one big place where we can see why this film needed to be made is through Robert E. Sherwood's acceptance speech after winning the award for Best Adaptation. So Sherwood's speech called for a redistribution of wealth after the war. This is mainly seen through Fred's character, who is struggling to even get back on his feet because there are no jobs. William Wyler himself was a very big personal interest in the film production and asked Cantor to originally write the story that Wyler kind of edited when Cantor crafted a novella that was more against women rather than against war. And then it presents a focus on men returning as well as the women in their lives, reflecting how American society as itself is completely changed after war, not just the sadness of battle itself, but also how the home front is being completely changed because of this. So the initial reception of The Vestures of Our Lives, it won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Film Editing. It was the highest grossing movie since Gone with the Wind. So it was shown for consecutive weeks throughout theaters, and apparently every week there was always a high attendance rate, a lot of people seeing it again and again. And most importantly, it was made available throughout all American zones through the War Department and Office of Military Government in Germany. So this means anywhere where Americans are stationed across the world, this film was sent to them. A lot of the times of training films were sent to them, but this is one that they thought was necessary for soldiers to realize that the American public was on their side, and once they came home, that people were going to be there supporting them and not leaving them in the dust, as many people were feeling, like the 3 men. And so this film acts as a call of action and a form of comfort for those people. And so finally, the legacy of Vestures of Our Lives. So these are all the different things that's been like upheld for, including being one of the top 100 grossing films of all time. It's the 6th most attended film in UK history. It is one of the top 100 of critic Robert Eberts, who is well known in the film community. It's number 37 on AFI's Greatest American Films of All Time. And one important detail that's really fun is that all of these sets that are crafted in the movie are life size. So as actors are wearing their own clothes, a lot of sets are made actually the size of a house or what normal people would exist in, rather than having these grandiose sets that make actors seem like more able to easily guide through and like larger than life. He wanted this to be representative of the real people who are returning from war. And so he had these little normal size set that actors could exist in. And it gave the film the natural atmosphere. I'm sorry, that went off before that. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. If there's anything that any of us can do, please let us know. Stay inside, have fun, watch movies. I miss you all, and I hope you're well.